welcome back. We begin on a lovely May day as Elsie has returned from a morning stroll around the morning stroll around Hyde Park that has been blissfully free of snakes. Although you did hear a little gossip amongst some of the other visitors to the park of recent incidents concerning escaped serpents in the park, and a brave gentleman who walked them over to London Zoo, whose description sounds suspiciously similar to that of Max. But having returned from your walk, you and Cynthia arrived back at the house to a note from the other members of the society. Well, a message left with James, essentially. Miss Smith, I was told to tell you that they have gone over to see Mr. Gaskill because they think he might be dying of the same thing that the librarian died of that bit John. I think that was the message.
Do you have the address?
Yes. The address of the Gaskell house. It's not too far from here. They seem to be in in somewhat of a hurry. They received a phone call and some matter of urgency.
Did they take the carriage?
They did take the carriage. Shall I call you a hansom cab?
Yes, please.
Yeah, of course, ma'am. And
once that arrives, I'll head over.
Yeah. Not too long after, a hansom cab arrives and takes you around and up to Gaskill House. As Elsie arrives downstairs and is shown upstairs, the rest of you are where we left off, up in Mr. Gaskell's rather crowded sick room. There is Mr. Gaskill himself, propped up against the pillows, mumbling away almost inaudibly to himself, with his face this greenish grey, stained with sweat. I believe Mortimer sort of leaning over, examining him. One of the rest of you I was looking at one of these glass vials that you picked up earlier from Palmer's house. The empty one, but I believe you gave the ones that still had liquid in to Delphine Delaney. And you've managed to match up the label on the vials to that on the pill bottles on Mr. Gaskill's bedside. And I think that is everything. So, over to you.
Fortunately, I think he is too far gone for my particular brand of knowledge to be of use.
If we can work out what has caused this in the first place, we might be able to save his life.
You know, Mortimer, Doctor, can I be reasonably close to Mortimer that some of the other family members can't hear me?
Yeah, I believe at this point, patient Gaskill had stepped outside this room, partly because the room doesn't really have room for all this many people, and it was getting really quite stuffy and crowded. She's gone to make sure that her daughter is okay.
Does it look any place look like he's undergoing some sort of transformation? I'm thinking of Jeffrey Palmer.
Not they can see, but there is something. I don't know what he's had. I'm assuming your friend may have had all of the doses. It could be this gentleman's only had
No, he didn't. There were 2 left that he hadn't taken.
But we need to work out what's going on. If we can find out what I'm expecting is he's been given something which is a combination of serpent venom and something else.
At this point that Elsie walked into the room partway through the conversation.
Oh, Miss Smith?
Hello. Has anybody called the doctor?
Um,
Or more specifically, his wife?
yes. She showed us in.
Oh, she's here already.
Yep.
I look for her.
She's
Is she
probably-
in the room?
She may have been outside.
Yeah, she was just downstairs with the other
Oh, so I
doctor.
missed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this gentleman, he doesn't seem to have a disease as such. It seems to be more, I suspect, more likely a poison of some fashion. Perhaps something derived from serpent venom and combined with something else. But his company, Gaskill Drugs and Dyes, they've been doing some experimental stuff, which I'm just wondering whether it's something new they've been developing. And I don't know why he'd be exposed to it, but that's the situation we're in. We need to possibly visit their research and development, check with perhaps Mrs. Gaskell if she knows of someone Scottish who works at the research and development, hopefully. We'll see, but I'm sure we'll get an answer.
Keeper, looking around, are there any signs of hastily written notes or anything that would tell me both what they were doing before he got this sick or anything that would kind of make me think of a nervous or scared person
You want
doing
to,
it?
Are you wanting to sort of search through his drawers and his belongings?
Yeah, just looking through things, looking around.
Yeah, give me a thought hidden as you give him doing a bit of a search.
One thing I'd suggest is checking his journal to see his entry before he was ill. Like his diary, to see. Obviously, once he fell ill, he wasn't able to probably write in it so much. Is it likely his journal would be in this room, Keeper, or somewhere else?
Sorry, I was checking something. As you search around, you don't find any sort of hastily written notes or that such. There is his journal not hidden in like his essentially business journal on his desk in plain display.
Yeah.
D'Angelo, you find that. But
Is
there are
he
the
awake?
notes. He is barely conscious, mumbling away.
Perhaps Mr. Thompson would be able to look through these business notes and see if there's anything of use.
Well, yes, of course, Mr. Williams. What type of
Continue
role?
Notebook.
It depends what you're trying. If you're just reading it, that would just be I wouldn't ask for a roll at all, actually, if you're just opening it up and seeing what it says on, like, the last day. If you're looking for any specific information, or depends what kind of question you're trying to answer here.
I would probably sit down and try to be. I'd probably try to do the last 6 months of reading and just sit down and go through it slowly in the corner.
Okay, if you're doing the whole of the last 6 months, this is going to take some time. This diary essentially appears to be a record of. It's not like a record of his personal thoughts. This doesn't appear to be a personal diary. This seems to be just 10 a.m. met with B. Barlow. Recollection of new shovel imports or that sort of thing.
Amos, you hear him kind of walk to a corner maybe outside of the room or something, and hear him go, "I've read dry things before, and I suppose I'll have to do it again." And I'll sit down,
Okay.
and however long it takes is however long
Give
it takes.
me a language own roll, essentially. This is for how long it takes you to read and absorb all of this.
Oh my god, I have an 80 and I failed. I'm not spending the luck on that.
Essentially, a failure here means it's going to take you a lot longer to go through this.
You hear him mutter something about needing coffee and hope his old bones don't get too stiff, and he just sits down and starts working on it.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
I think Mortimer will go to try to find Mrs. Gaskell. He just wants to check something with her.
Okay. Yeah, you're going downstairs to look for patients. What's everyone else doing just before we
Well,
go downstairs?
If it's a poison, shouldn't someone work on trying to purge the poison from him?
Yep, that's the plan. Once we work out what it is.
D'Angelo,
George has
going
gone
to see if he can
downstairs.
find.
Yeah, sorry, D'Angelo.
D'Angelo's going to search bathrooms and things like that for any signs of treatments or whatever they were trying to do.
Okay, give me another spot hidden, please. Let's see if your eyes have got any sharper.
And I'll use psychology instead.
No!
I'm good at one thing.
Okay, we'll see what you find in a moment. That leaves Elsie, John, and Maximilian. What are you three doing?
Do I know where the kitchen is?
Downstairs.
What,
Wanna go to the
what are
kitchen?
you doing?
I was
I will just stay in the room. Maybe I'll try to comfort him. Are there any smelling salts?
I believe that is the thing that you might carry yourself. If you want
I
to
will
have
pull
smelling
out some.
salts.
Yeah, I will pull out some smelling salts and try to bring him back into consciousness
Okay.
because he can tell us himself.
Salts, okay. And Max, we get.
I think I will walk around, keep an eye on my group of the individual people. Just,
Okay,
keeping...
they're heading off in different directions. Are you still staying in the room upstairs with Elsie?
I'll basically go and, I'll stay outside the room, but keep the door open, and keep an eye out for any ways the others walk, any sounds I hear. Bit of a watchdog.
Just hanging about. Yeah.
Just hanging about, just, watchdog kind of situation.
Okay. So, we're going to start with Mortimer, as Mortimer heads downstairs to talk to Patience Gaskill. You find her in the hall, talking, just ending a conversation with the other doctor, the family doctor. All right, yes, and you'll be back later? Of course, Mrs. Gaskill, yes. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. I know you've tried your best. Dr. Davenport, how can I help you?
I had a question. Whether there's a record of any medicines your husband has been having in his treatment, or what occurred just before he fell ill?
He wasn't taking any medicines before, apart from an occasional little dose for indigestion every now and again, but no, he was a healthy man.
It's just rather strange that this has suddenly happened like this.
Yes, it is. Strange. Awful and strange.
Do you know, I think whether, how familiar are you with your company's research at the moment?
No, I'm not involved in the business side of things. You should have seen the mess I made with the books before I took them over to see Mr. Thompson.
Fair enough.
No, Roger took care of the business, and I took care of the house.
So, who would be the best person to talk to regards the research and development? In case something new has caused this.
Dr. Forbes is the head of research.
I'm not sure I'm familiar with him. Is he Scottish or?
Yes, I suppose he is. Yes, but he's been with us for
It's,
a few years now. Almost completely lost his accent.
yeah, it's just occurred to me. How would be the best way to contact him?
Well, he's probably over across the river down at the factory. That's where the laboratories are. The research is all based down there.
I may need to speak with him. Now, this is going to be a very personal question, but is it possible to have a look at your husband's diary to check the last entry before he fell ill? See if there's any record of anything he tried, like new indigestion medicine or something.
Oh, my Roger was never much of a journal. He has, I think it's upstairs in this room, there's his diary, but he won't
He
get
never kept a diary as such.
He won't get his personal thoughts from there. No, a man of few words, my Roger.
So, but Dr. Forbes would be the best person to speak with regards to the research and development side of things.
I suppose so. As I said, I was not involved in the business.
Oh, it's
I'm
no
not involved
problem.
in the business.
It's, I'll have to speak with him to see if he knows anything about this.
Will you and all your companions be intending to stay for dinner? Should I get the servants to...
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm going to try to get this solved and resolved as soon as possible. So,
anything you can do would be much appreciated.
I'll try my best.
Yes, well, I
forgot to ask the name of the other doctor who was just here.
Dr. Watkins.
You don't happen to know what medicines your husband's been trying, or whilst he's been ill?
All the pill bottles are upstairs. You're the doctor. Feel free to take a look through them.
I'll probably have a quick check through those, actually. It's just that it'll give me an idea. But anyway, thank you for your time. I shouldn't be around here long. I'll be probably heading to the factory to speak to Dr. Forbes.
Oh, very well. Right.
Please excuse me for a moment. I'm sure we'll come up with a solution, and hopefully we'll work out.
If you just excuse me.
Okay, and I'll head back upstairs to chat to everyone briefly.
Okay, whilst Mortimer was downstairs, D'Angelo, you were searching the bathroom looking for anything out of the ordinary. How thorough do you want to be in this search? Like, are we crawling down the backs of cupboards? Are we...
No.
Okay.
Plausible deniability. I don't want to be, getting kicked out of this place. Someone sees me.
Okay, the bathroom is fairly big. There's a bathtub. There is a basin. I think by this point in time we do have indoor plumbing here. Well, if not, they are incredibly ahead of the time, so we have a toilet. Revolutionary. These usually exciting things. Flush toilets inside your own home. Who would have thought? And yeah, so looking around, there's a cabinet with you see essentially like a comb, a few bits and bobs. There's not very much in here. The only real thing of note that you find is when you go through the cupboards picking up the comb, there are a couple of shreds of skin caught on it.
I will make a note of that. Keeper, with my knowledge of either the occult or the mythos, would I be able to figure out what likely ingredients in a transmutation of snake potion or whatever it would be?
No, this is beyond your current knowledge. You, I don't believe, are familiar enough without sort of examining it, just thinking about it. You know that it might involve, from your conversations with Delphine, that it might involve some of the venoms that the serpent people use, but she said that it was something beyond that, and someone had meddled with it and done things that she didn't understand. You feel to really understand this, you would need either information about what went in it or a proper chemical laboratory to examine it.
I will go and see what the others are doing.
Okay. So, Elsie, you stuck some smelling salts underneath the guy's nose.
Does it wake him?
Patience, what was that for? I'm awake.
Mr. Glasgow, we're trying to find out what's wrong.
Everything
How,
hurts. Everything hurts.
Mr. Johnson, come in. You might know more questions to ask. What?
Tell Mr. Bigley to move the shipment over to the west dock entrance. The east dock entrance gets damp.
I'm gonna put the smelling salts under his nose again.
No. I am awake. I told you I'm awake.
Mr. Glasgow, we need to know what caused your illness. When did you start taking these medicines?
The doctor gave me them. A few weeks ago. I started feeling unwell. He brought me medicines to take. A very good man, the doctor.
Which doctor?
What?
Oh, what's it? Watkins.
How were you feeling before the medicines?
Terrible. They didn't do much to make it feel better, but they're awful before. Awful.
Okay, so these make you feel better.
Nothing
What
makes
were-
you feel better. Everything.
What were you doing before you got sick?
Work. Usual inspections. I went to talk to Forbes.
Was there something at work that might have poisoned you?
No, I'm going into that. Stay away from the vats, and the fumes don't get you too much. I need to talk to patients. I need to tell her, the girl. She's my daughter. I can explain everything. It's not what he said. It's not. I didn't. Meredith. She is my daughter. Anna's daughter.
Meredith's your daughter. Okay. We will. Do you want patients here? Right now?
Patients?
I will go outside
You see,
and grab
lapses
patients.
back into unconscious rambling once more.
I will pass the smelling salts to Max as I walk out the room.
Do I see Elsie walk out of the room, Keeper?
Yes, you're still making your way through this book, sort of
The journal,
slowly,
yeah.
line by line. You can see that he has a lot of meetings with essentially suppliers who supply shipments of ingredients for the production of dyes, meetings with hospitals, presumably he's supplying drugs to, meetings with like textile companies that he's supplying dyes to, and various meetings with people based at the factory, like the factory foreman and the head of research and development, and they don't seem to have an accountant. So very bizarre.
It's very strange, very strange. Well, I was planning on trying to introduce myself to Elsie. So as I see Elsie walk
you
by,
see her come past as you're reading.
excuse me, Elsie Smith.
Yes.
I get up. It's so nice to meet you. My name is Amos Thompson. I've been hired to be the accountant of your esteemed organization.
Wonderful. We will have to discuss this a little bit later. I'm on my way to find Mrs. Glassgill.
Well, I'm also the Glassgill's accountant. That's kind of how these things converged. And I couldn't help but overhear the conversation about his daughter and Meredith. Would you mind having a seat so I could fill you in on some very pressing matters?
All right. And if there is a seat to be had, I will take it. If the only seat available is the one he was previously occupying, I will take it.
Yes, absolutely. And then I will regale her with everything that I learned last session and not go through the nitty gritty, starting with Meredith Bell, Theodasia, all that good stuff.
Okay. So, for the sake of Elsie, who was not here last week, do you want me to summarize in brief what you learned about Meredith?
Yeah. I am verbose and I ramble, both in game and as a person.
So, in short, he recounts that he was hired to look into the Gaskell accounts, and as part of that discovered payments that Mr. Gaskell had been making towards a woman called Meredith Bell, who was claiming to be his illegitimate daughter from a relationship prior to his marriage. And Amos and Cecil, a lawyer, went to visit this Meredith Bell at her address at the Royal Victoria Hotel. And whilst they were there, they discovered that she was renting the room not under the name of Meredith Bell, but under the name of Theodosia Holborn. And they saw her going downstairs to meet her gentleman, none other than Mr. Plum. Gerald. Theodosia Holborn and Meredith Bell appear to be one and the same woman.
Yes. So this is a strange way for me to meet you, and I do apologize, but, given the fact that how this all started, I just wanted you to know what you were walking into. And I was going to tell Patience Glaskill that I was going to concoct a fabrication so that she might be spared the. I don't even know whatever the hell this thing is, quite frankly, this scenario. But you are your own person, and I respect thy autonomy. I just wanted you to know, and it's a pleasure meeting you.
A pleasure meeting you. Thank you for opening my eyes to something I wasn't sure of before. But Mr. Glaskill, when he is awake, had asked to see his wife. So I shall go collect her. We shall wake him again so that he can speak with her. Does she already know about his daughter?
Oh boy. Well, a look of shame comes across Amos's face.
Then he should be the one to tell her.
Yes, he's going to have to explain that, although he asked me to lie. It's what he told you prevails. I'm going to get back to this journal, something about not having an accountant and textile things, and leave this horrible affair to all you young people who have cartilage in your knees. So, very good now.
I will vacate his seat and collect Mrs. Glaskill.
Paper cut.
So as you head down to
dreadful.
get Mrs. Gaskell, John, you'd gone down to the kitchens.
I did.
There's a few servants bustling around. What are you looking for down here?
Is the cook in the kitchen?
Yes, she's down here. No. They don't want strawberry tarts. Also, where do you find strawberries from? Hey.
Oh,
Goodness.
hello. We're here trying to figure out what's going on with Mr. Gaskell. Has he or anyone else recommended any supplementary items for his dinners lately?
Oh, poor Mr. Gaskell's not eaten much at all these last 3 weeks. No, he was managing some thin broth to begin with, but not even that now.
And while I'm talking to her, I'd like to look around to see if I see anything that would be obviously not exactly food.
Give me a spot hidden if anything looks out of place here down in the kitchen. Even the lady's not been eating her fill of late. Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering if there's something might not be agreeing with him. But if you say it's only broth lately, then that's not kind of leaves that out.
And weak broth at that. We're trying to get something a little more solid in him, but alas, it's like my poor mother at the end. Yeah.
What with your mother?
God rest her soul. Sorry, was there anything else I could help you with?
No, I was just going. Just what happened to your mother?
Oh, typhoid.
Ah, okay. I don't think that's the case here, but I'm sorry to hear that.
No.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. I won't bother you anymore. I'll go back upstairs.
No. Right, and as you head back upstairs, you see Elsie heading up, bringing patients up into the room. Mr. Gaskell seems to have lapsed back into mostly unconsciousness now. Eyelids barely moving. The patient sits beside him, takes his hand in hers. Did you... Any answers? Did you...
Not really.
Well, Dr. Watkins said he'll be back later, but not to hold out too much hope. I fear that by tomorrow I may be a widow. But thank you for all the concern you have been. Thank you for all your concern that you have been showing.
These guys are smart. They may find a way.
I pray they do, but bitter hope. Is there anything else you need in here? If not, I don't suppose it would be too much to ask for a moment alone with him. Just...
Sure.
Thank you.
And I'll leave the room with her and her husband in it.
Did you give her the smelling salts so that she could wake him up again?
He doesn't seem to be responding to them. They're not.
I probably left them on like the nightstand. Not on purpose, just forgetting them there.
Yeah, it seems the questions seem to have worn him out for the time being. Smelling salts will not cure everything.
No, it won't.
Yeah.
Keeper. Would it have been possible that I had learned something of healing through my various studies?
What does your medicine skill say?
I did not mean medicine.
Do you have, unless you have any specific
I was thinking
sorcerer's
like
powers that you believe would improve this situation? When we talk about healing, we'll be looking at your medicine skill here.
Let's see. The ones that I have listed are well, do you want me you can see my sheet, right?
Yes, I can. Yeah. You do know that most of the arts that you've studied are not particularly aligned in the direction of healing.
Right.
You know how to call upon various powers of the beyond, how
Mhm.
to dominate the will of another and to swap your mind with another. But only one with whom you have a connection enough. You cannot do it with simply any passers-by, and that is something you have never actually tried to do. Because that is
Right.
a very permanent and decisive move.
Mhm. What about any occult things that may have come up?
You know of occult is essentially your knowledge of people's beliefs and things around you, things like, spiritualism and obscure knowledge. It's not
Mhm.
magic.
No, it's not magic. Okay. Um
The only knowledge you have of sort of obscure and sort of arcane arts that relate to healing are the things you've heard, like, Mortimer talk about with regards to serpent people and their weird medicine stuff, I believe.
Mhm.
You yourself, I don't think, know much about this subject.
No. But I do know that willpower can help significantly with some things if believe strong enough. Um I'm going to message you, Keeper, to see if this idea works.
Okay. Yes.
Otherwise, you can I'll message you.
Okay.
I fully support whatever's going to happen.
It'll probably need a sacrifice of some fashion.
So, whilst Elsie's thinking about, what unnatural ways she can use to improve this situation, is there anything else you not wish to be doing, or what is
Yeah.
your next move?
Mortimer had wanted to have another look at the medicines. I know he had a look earlier, but I didn't actually mention. I think I asked whether they looked okay and see.
They looked like
Just
completely
standard.
standard medicines that you would use in the circumstances of someone who was suffering from, say, a fever, a potentially being like poisoned, or I personally do not know enough about Victorian medicine to say what these medicines are. But Mortimer, as a doctor, can look at them and go, yes, these are the medicines I would prescribe in this circumstance.
Yeah, and it did succeed in a medicine role to do the whole analysis as such. I'm just wondering what sort of role would, working on the assumption I believe he's been poisoned, what sort of role would it take to work out what he's been poisoned with?
I believe you made this roll, and your thing was you didn't really recognize you couldn't match it up to any poison that you knew. I believe you made
so
this roll.
Something new.
Yes.
I didn't recognise. Can I tell whether it's similar to anything else, like an extract of snake venom, for argument's sake, or lead or arsenic?
You can give me a medicine roll. See if you can match up any symptoms, but
see if it's similar to something else. Okay, I shall try. Hard success. Would an extreme be much better?
An extreme would not be much better in this circumstance. You've not seen anyone with this exact matching set of symptoms before. Some of what you're saying potentially matches up with some other symptoms that John described in the very last stages of Mr. Palmer's illness, but most of them do not, and he does not appear to have any scaly patches of his skin. He's not biting anyone. His teeth have not turned into fangs. This seems to be a different set of effects. You do know enough of this medicine to agree with the other doctor, Dr. Watkins' assessment, that it's very unlikely that he will live past today unless something majorly is done to improve his circumstances. You fear this man has potentially only a few hours left to live, depending on what treatments are given. A day at most. This is a dire circumstance.
But it's something new, pretty much.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I needed to check.
And Angela will find whomever. Actually, we'll say you find the doctor. Dr. Davenport. Mortimer.
Yes.
Do you know I found a comb in the bathroom with what looked to be pieces of flesh connected to it. Do you know anything about why? Outside of the current serpent theory, of course.
Not if I can think of. Is it? Was it a man's comb, a woman's comb, or?
Keeper, it was a man's comb, right?
Yeah.
I believe it was his personal comb. It was kind of tucked away. I don't know if he's trying to hide it from his beloved or pry eyes.
It could have been bits of skin, was it, or flesh, or?
Looks like skin, perhaps, ideally from
A lot of
combing.
people do have bits of their skin get caught in their combs, dandruff and things like that. So it's not unusual, but it's possible because with the other gentleman, the change in the shedding, this could be tied in with that, maybe a different version of it. So I'd like to get to the factory as soon as possible to see if I can speak to Dr. there to see if Mr. Gaskell was exposed to something when he was visiting last.
I think you're maybe on the right track. I think it's possible that he was not directly injected, or at least not on purpose, but he might have been exposed to it secondhand from someone doing work they should not have.
Also, I believe this Dr. Forbes may or may not be, well, he may be Scottish, which tallies in with the other things we've heard.
Okay, whilst you're having this conversation, two other things are occurring. The first is that Amos reaches the last pages of the diary.
God.
It doesn't get any more exciting towards the end. As you make your way to the end, you can see that the last few pages, like a few weeks, he's essentially crossed out his appointments as he's cancelled them after he fell ill. His last day before his illness, his appointments in the morning were to go and see the coal haulier, and then in the afternoon to go and speak to Dr. Forbes.
Oh, okay.
And he'd underline the Forbes appointment as important.
Okay. All right, Dr. Forbes. I'm gonna have to pay. Maybe he can help me with my knees. Oh, sunny disposition. Who do I tell this? I look around. Who's around me?
Well, everyone had been sent out of the room for a moment whilst patients, or at least unless anyone stayed after patients asked you to leave. So Elsie, it depends on what you're doing in this moment. So Elsie, you said you wanted to do something.
Yes, before I do that thing, I do want to seek Dr. Davenport and speak with him briefly first.
Okay, so Amos, you can see the others. So you see D'Angelo and Mortimer having this conversation as Elsie goes over to talk to them. Maximilian is still lurking around, I believe, and John has come back upstairs. So you're all sort of around, essentially in like the upstairs landing hallway of this quite grand house.
Well, but maybe
milling
like
around.
a room.
There's
that
one
we
chair by the
like a
window
sitting room or something.
with Amos in it.
talking.
Sorry, I could have talked over you there. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying it could be like a sitting room to one side for people who are just visiting.
It's more like kind of just. There's a bedroom outside the landing. There's a bit of an alcove with a pet chair in by the window where Amos was sat. You haven't formally been inviting into any form of sitting room in this house.
It's okay.
Dr. Davenport, I
Yes.
have a couple of questions.
Go for it.
One of those questions is, in an illness, what leads you to believe that a person will become better?
The lessening of the symptoms, usually. It depends on the type of illness, but I believe in this case he's been exposed to something, possibly at his factory, when he was meeting with Dr. Forbes.
All right, so when a person is ill, depending on how long those symptoms last is when you usually know if they are going to be over, when a person becomes better, or when they may possibly pass on.
It depends on the strength of his body, really. It's I don't believe he's got long, but that's why we should rush.
I have an idea, and please tell me if you think it might work. But I have the ability to control someone's willpower sometimes. And I was thinking if I use that and use my own personal strength to feed them, maybe it could help get him through the illness to the other side a little bit easier. Maybe help move him towards healing.
What sort of role would I need Keeper to see whether this could work?
I mean, I will leave this entirely in your hands. You, based on
Mythos or
Mortimer's medical knowledge, this is based on basically what Mortimer believes. Does Mortimer believe that the power of will is enough to bring you through an illness, or not?
I'd say I believe a combination of both, personally, but because I know magic can do strange things, and there is a lot to be said about willpower.
I will say you haven't. I don't think seen many cases where magic has left the person on which the magic was used better off.
No, but I do know how to use magic to cause someone to rot whilst they're still alive.
Yes. Yes.
So in theory, it should be the counter side of that. It may be possible to reverse that. And I know a fair bit about ghouls as well.
I feel I must interrupt here. There's one rule amongst all cultures, or at least nearly all cultures I've seen. Interfering with death never works out. There's reasons. Every culture has stories of people who attempt to gain immortality or defy its embrace, and they always fail. I would strongly recommend not attempting.
Well, technically, they don't always fail. I know.
And I wouldn't be completely defying death. I would just be postponing it, maybe to help settle affairs, or since it seems to be a poisoning, maybe to bring justice to what actually happened.
May I interject momentarily? That's okay. I don't want to be rude, as I've only known you all for like 6 hours. But what I would say is, there's a difference between a natural death, as painful as that is, and an organic death, such as what this clearly is. And while I have no idea what you were talking about in regards to what sounds like a great deal of balderdash, I would say that what Mr. Williams was saying is universally true, but it might not be applicable in this instance. With that being said, it's time to get back to the mathematics. Things that make sense. Damn it, another paper cut. What is wrong with my hands?
But if there's a way to give him extra, I don't know, strength to hang on, long enough for us to find a resolution to his treatment. Keeper, is he look as if he'll pass sort of today or within a day?
You
Imminent?
don't
or...
know if he'll make it through the night or not. You don't have an exact timing on this. As I said, it could be as short as hours or as long as a day, unless some treatment is given beyond that which he's already receiving, which is based on doctors' lack of knowledge about what is going on here.
Well, we could always check with Mrs. Delaney. She might have an idea, because Mr. Greaves' friend, he couldn't help him because it was too late, unfortunately. But perhaps she'll have some knowledge to help this gentleman. If we ask her about this, to start some sort of treatment, and we rush and try to find out what's caused this. We may have to go in 2 different directions at this point, because we are running short on time. I think someone may need to chat to Mrs. Delaney and see what she can do or suggest. And I'd like to get to speak to Dr. Forbes and see what's going on with that.
Well, Dr. Mortimer, do you foresee the possibility of needing a pretense to speak with Dr. Forbes? So he would not just necessarily be mad at you stealing his client? That's a big thing in my circle.
No, he's not. He's I don't believe he's a medical doctor. I believe he's a researcher. He works at a factory.
Ah, very good. My
research
apologies.
and development, which is why I want to speak to him in case he knows of what Mr. Gaskell was exposed to, because I don't know a great deal about pharmacy or the drug trade myself, but if they're producing things in large quantities, they may have fumes or exposed gases and all sorts of things going on like that there.
Well, if he gives you any pushback, you can say that you could just bring up the fact that because there's financial discrepancies, you want an itinerary of all of the ballyhoo that goes on there and things of that sort. With every question, there's a financial answer. Mostly.
If we want to do this, I agree we may need to split up. Perhaps Dr. Mortimer and I can go and speak with the other doctor, at least as fellow professionals and academics. Then the rest can attempt to reach out to this ally of yours for more immediate assistance.
It does, yeah. There is another Keeper. Is it just us in this area now?
Yes, it's just you. Patience is in the room with her husband. It is just the 6 of you up here.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure before I said something. We do have an issue of...
Bear in mind, one of the 6 is Amos.
Yeah.
Who I don't know what he's making of any of what is being said.
Mrs. Delaney has... and her husband have an issue we need to resolve as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which within a day or 2, but it is very important that we get her on board. Her knowledge of pharmacy and that side of things is much more than mine, and she may have an idea in this case, although she couldn't help Mr. Greaves' friend. It was something beyond her knowledge, but she might be able to provide some sort of insight to help Mr. Gaskell hang on long enough for us to come up with a solution.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so in that case, and I'm going to glance at Amos, we can pray to give him strength to last.
No, absolutely not. No, prayers didn't save my wife at all. That's not how the good Lord works. I don't mean to disrespect. No, I'm going to go talk to this coal hauler, Bob Smith. That's what I'm going to go do.
That's
no
fine.
bloody idea what you people are talking about, but I mean, you're paying me very well. By the way, here's my bill. You're welcome. I'm going to go do that. Anyone can come help me with that as well. But it is God. God is God. Oh,
I will stay to pray for his strength to help him hold on a little longer. If you wish to speak with,
God? No, I don't want to talk to God. I'm kidding. That was a joke. You do your thing. To Bob Smith I go. I will be back. I have no earthly idea as to. I'm quite old and walking is not very good for me. But goodbye. And I go to find this Bob Smith. I presume I have his address, or I would know where to find him.
Yes, you
Keeper?
could find. You know it from the accounts. He's the regular supplier to the factory. It's Smith and Sons Colliery, or Smith and Sons Coal Imports is based on the south bank of the Thames. They've got a warehouse, just over
Very good.
in Southall.
I will take all. I will take the journal. I will take all the documents. I will even have the books on me that I got from patients in my bag. I will try to call a carriage, but I will stop back at my office and get my handgun.
Yes, you call a carriage. If they say the address of the coal haulery, you get that kind of south of the river. But
Well,
he will agree to
bullets
take you there.
fly there as well. Also, I might need to say goodbye to Gregory because this could be the last time I see him. Although he's probably not at work anyway. But yeah, that's what Amos is doing. I tell everybody where I'm going.
Amos is going to see Bob Smith at the coal merchant. Elsie, did you say you were staying behind to?
Yes,
meddle?
I'm going to stay behind to meddle. And maybe that'll give Mortimer time to go speak with, what was her name again? Mrs. Delaney?
Elfine
I was-
Delaney.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
who else
speak
is going
with,
where?
Mortimer's going to speak to Dr. Forbes.
Okay.
Ah.
Mortimer is going to see Forbes. Okay. Max,
Yes, John.
John, and D'Angelo. Yeah.
Say John is going to go back to see Delphine. Although she's going to, I think she's going to expecting us to help get rid of what was left behind last visit.
Yes, she was also asking for some help disposing of the corpse that you left her with. D'Angelo.
D'Angelo will be joining Dr. Mortimer, so that way he does not have to go alone.
Okay, and Max?
I think Max would ask our resident serpent person doctor.
Okay, so
Good
you're
question.
going with John, the Delphine, not technically a doctor, Delaney.
So we're split in 4 ways.
Yes, you are splitting 4 ways. Well, I think as everyone is splitting up in 4 different directions and things are about probably to get interesting or incredibly boring, we shall see. This is as good a time as any to go to break, and we'll see you back in 10 minutes' time. Wait for it. I'm gonna find the file. And so, as the rest of the society sets off to various destinations to speak to doctors and coal merchants, Elsie, you are left behind at the Gaskill residence with a plan in mind.
Mhm.
What do you want to do?
I would like to, so The spell I am planning on using is Domination of Will. It is a short-term imposition of will. I plan on using that spell to instill Mr. Gaskill with some of my strength to help him hold out a little bit longer.
Okay, so this would fall
Strength,
on
health,
yeah.
whichever.
This would
Yes.
fall under a spontaneous use of Cthulhu magic. But this is new magic that you've not read in a book, new magic that you don't know whether it will work or not. But first of all, like, how do you actually want to go about doing this? As you left the room, you've left him there with his wife.
It says that this has a range of 10 yards and lasts for one round.
Okay, so you're not trying to go into the room to do this. You're trying to do this from outside. I will say that I'm going to set a Cthulhu Mythos roll for the spontaneous use of magic. It will be a regular roll if you're there inside the room, and a hard one if you are outside of the room.
I think I would like to be in the room. I'm going to knock on the door, and if Patience lets me in, I would like to pray with him if you would like to join me.
Yes, take a seat.
All right, I will I'll take a seat on one side of the bed if she wants to sit on her normal side. I'll hold his hand, and I'll hold her hands as if we are actually going to be praying.
Okay. Give me a Cthulhu Mythos roll as you reach to try and sort of essentially make a connection between him and you.
That has been a hard success.
Flow his strength into yours. Okay. I'm going to ask you, how many magic points do you want to put into this? The more magic points you're putting into this is the more strength and the more power you're giving this spell. How much of yourself do you want to push into this?
I would like to push in all of my magic points, all 14 points.
Okay, all 14 points of magic. Okay.
And then I'd say 4 points of health.
And 4 points of health.
I really want this to succeed.
Okay. So it will succeed, the success. So essentially, you know you're putting this, essentially how much of yourself you want to put into this is going to, I'm going to say, influence how much of an effect this has on both him and you. The more of yourself you put into this, the more of an effect it's going to have on you.
That's fine.
Okay, are you sure you want to commit 14 magic points and 4 of your points of health?
Yes.
Okay. I would like you to roll me 2d8 for sanity, please, then. This is a lot of yourself you're pouring into this man. This could...
That is a 9.
Okay. Can you give me an intelligence roll, please? As you feel... This way, you feel the strength of your body flowing outwards into the man below, and you realize exactly what you're doing here. You are giving up your own life force, your own strength, your own life into this man. You are sustaining his life through yours, making a very tight bond between you. A bond that will keep him alive, but will bind you together and may kill you in the process. And as you realise the shock of like what you're doing here, your mind sort of shies away from the horror of the fact that you, like, this man is dying. You can keep him alive. You can keep him alive longer. But if he dies, it may kill you too. You are bound together now. You are tied together. And I need you to roll me 1d10. Because you've lost those 9 points of sanity there.
8.
And you just, for a moment, just panic and dread sort of takes over you. And you feel this sort of immense just terror sink into the very heart of you. This fear, this dread, this sort of terrified, so you shrink back from the bed in fear. You realise tears on your face, this sort of sobbing cry. You see Patience look over at you with alarm and concern, like, Miss Smith, are you all right? You seem. You look. Oh, I think you might need to sit down. You already sat down. Might need to lie down. Those smelling salts you had. You look.
The smelling salts are on the side of the bed.
Yeah, take a sniff. Oh, you look dreadful, my dear. Margaret, I think Miss Smith should go take her downstairs, throw her some tea, get her some hot cocoa, and you look dreadful, and you can't stop the tears that are flowing from your eyes now at this moment. Just the tears and the fear inside you, just this dread of the darkness that is coming. But as Patience sort of ushers you from the room to sort of take you downstairs, get your blanket and some cocoa, looking back at Mr. Gaskell, you could see his eyes sort of flutter open. He looks better than he did before. Definitely looks less pallid. His breathing has evened out a bit. He looks better. He's not cured, but he looks stronger than he did before.
I'll let them usher me out of the room into whatever they do. And then I think after drinking whatever beverage they put into my hands, I might just fall asleep.
Okay. So, as you slip into really horrible, terrifying nightmares, we go away and across the city to where Mortimer and D'Angelo, if I'm getting my distributions of... Yes, Mortimer and D'Angelo arrive at the Delaney Clinic in the East End.
Just for the record, D'Angelo does have his handgun and his sword.
Ah yes, just perfect for a trip to see the doctor.
Feel we should hurry up.
So we've gone to the factory to speak with Dr. Forbes.
Sorry, wrong pair. John and Maximilian. See, I checked my notes. Imagine I said everything I just said, but instead of saying Mortimer and D'Angelo, I said John and Maximilian. Obviously.
Okay.
Those other words you heard were a moment of fleeting madness. I never said that. That happens. So, John and Maximilian, as you arrive at the clinic, you can see the usual busyness outside. A crowd of sort of the ill and the sick crowding the waiting room. Today, actually, the queue spills a little bit outside the door, but Dr. Delaney is getting through them as fast as he can, looking a little harried and rushed, with Delphine assisting, handing out medicines, treating wounds. Oh,
Well,
you're back again. Our most regular visitors. Is it me you're after, or the wife?
I would like to talk to Delphine this time.
Delphine, these two are for you. Yes. 3 times a day, never more. Yes.
Well, hello
You-
again.
Have you come to collect the package from downstairs?
I believe we can come to some arrangement on that.
Ah, good,
But,
good.
but
It's starting
before
to
we
smell.
before we take our takeaway, um, we have another case of poisoning going on. That
Another? Has he
I was-
bitten anyone? Or she?
no, no, it doesn't appear to be a biting. Just that someone's very ill, and they're showing some similar signs to our patient from the other night, Jeffrey,
Huh.
but not exactly the same. We're just
Well, if you believe it's a poisoning, do you have any idea what he was poisoned by?
I'm not in any position to be able to make that determination.
As I said before, this is... I'll be with you in a moment. Look, it's similar stuff I've seen before, but not identical. Someone has meddled with things in a way that I do not understand. And without knowing how they've done that, I could not begin to prepare a treatment that would not potentially make the situation far worse. When dealing with poisons, one must be tread very carefully. The antidote for one poison is often a poison in itself.
True, but they all seem to be coming from the same source.
Well,
The Gaskell Drug and something company.
Not hugely familiar. Gaskell's, yes, we don't buy their stuff. It's too expensive.
But you always had good results from it if you were to use it, or had you ever
As I
used it in the
said,
past?
they're quite expensive medicine. I mostly prepare my own. Less than standard treatments. But I have heard nothing bad about them in the field of pharmacy. They are respected. They supply all the best medicines. Medicines for those who have money to afford things.
And I do try to relay to her everything I'd seen going on with Mr. Gaskell, just in case anything seemed to pop up.
Without seeing the patient, I'm not a doctor. I am more of, well, I guess a pharmacist. Without seeing things, I couldn't begin to prescribe a treatment based on descriptions. And without knowing the poison, I'd be loath to try. But
Well, this particular person is also in grave condition, and getting worse rapidly. Is there any chance we could persuade you to do another house call?
we are very busy.
I understand. Maybe after hours, we could compensate
Maybe
you.
I will see if we're done here today. Look, I'm sure this man is very important to you, but there are so many here, and I cannot afford to go running across the city for the sake of one when there are many here.
I completely understand, and we would compensate you for your time, hopefully in a way that would make it possible for you to treat more people.
As I've said before, donations are welcome, but look, I believe in what my husband is doing here to treat those who cannot afford to pay a doctor to come instantly to their side.
I understand, and I fully support
those that can
you.
afford others,
However,
we wish to help those who cannot afford.
However, you seem to have knowledge in a particular area that is of interest to us.
Very well.
And we really need to make use of your expertise in that area.
Is that a threat?
Pardon?
Is that some form of threat?
No, not at all.
Oh.
It's if anything, a compliment.
Look, I will try to come tonight if I can. But even I need sleep.
Well, needed to ask. But in any case, we will take care of the thing we've left behind.
Yes, please do. I could quite do with my my preparations room back into full usage, without having to worry about people stumbling upon the package down there.
Right. Yeah. Max, we need to go retrieve a package.
Yeah, let's go do that.
Are you going to take the body now? Is that the plan?
Well, it is what time of day is it?
I believe it'd still classify as broad daylight.
Okay.
I think we're in the afternoon, but I cannot remember precisely.
Okay. No,
So let's call it afternoon.
But there still are quite a number of people in the clinic.
Oh, it's very busy today.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll come back tonight, this evening, and pick it up after everything's died down a bit.
Very well, yes.
I'll bring a box. Probably better that way.
Yeah.
Yes. Bits kept falling off it last time we moved it. A solid box would be preferable. It has lost some consistency since the last time you saw it.
Oh, no, it's continued. The decay has continued.
Yes, the dissolvement, I would say, rather than the decay. Is that a word?
Close enough.
Yes,
Well,
a
maybe
box
should...
or a large barrel would be.
Yeah, maybe we should just, flush it in the sewers. Well, we'll find out.
As I said before, I'm loath to throw it into the sewers in case whatever contaminated this. I have no desire to contaminate the water supply with whatever was in that body. I would suggest that wherever you do dispose of it is not into the river, please. We have enough problems as is without whatever is in that corpse ending up in the Thames.
Well, I was going to say, the Thames is already sufficiently polluted. Just go down a bit downstream.
Yes.
We'll just burn it.
We'll find a way.
Advisable.
We'll find a way of getting it out of the way. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Well, right. And she hurries back to her work. Meanwhile,
No, I'm just doing it as when we seen the mass of people, there weren't anyone else in the queue that seemed similarly afflicted, or at least the beginning stages.
No,
okay.
You can see. It seems that there has been a bit of there's been some illness going around that's corresponded with also some adulterated bread products at a nearby bakery. It's just the perfect storm of a lot of things have gone wrong at once around this particular area, making it quite busy today.
Okay, all right.
And someone was bitten by a snake.
What? Snake?
Oh, occasionally there's just snakes. There's just snakes in this city at the moment.
What kind? Could you elaborate on what kind of snake it was?
It was what do you call it? Forgive me for one moment. I forget what you. I know different names for the snakes. Russell's viper is what your people call it.
Mike, that wasn't the kind of snake you were bitten by, was it? Or that attempted to bite you?
Was it?
It was actually.
It was. Yeah, it's the exact same.
Yes, there have been an unusually high number of snake bites in the city of late. Which is to say, there have been snake bites in the city of late.
Yeah, I carried one to the zoo because it tried to bite through my boot.
Yes, we've already had the occasional snake ever since the incident a few years ago with the very large snake. But yes, too many snakes. From comfort, and I say that as one who has nothing against snakes personally.
Well, we'll be back with a suitable container in the evening, and we'll see how fit you still feel back then.
I'd better get going.
Thank you again for your time. And
Okay.
I'll try to slip a 5 into the donation jar.
It's not really made for notes even, but yeah. You could slip some money in there. Meanwhile, south of the river, Mortimer and D'Angelo, really Mortimer and D'Angelo this time, arrive at the Gaskill Drugs and Dyes. You see this smoke-stained brick building, a high wall around the outside. You can see a metal arch above the thing named Gaskill D&D. Above the main entrance. You can see it borders onto the river. It's got sort of a little jetty, a pier with a boat pulled up to it that appears to be offloading large sacks with a crane. It's on a pivot. There are several interconnected large brick buildings and one unconnected sort of storage warehouse on the docks. It's change of shift as you arrive. There's a stream of people making their way in and out of the factory gates. Men and women in sort of dirty working clothes heading into the factories. And a couple of burly looking security guards on the gate.
Dr.
We'll probably
Mortimer,
have
how
to
should we?
security.
Pardon?
You first.
How should we play this, Dr. Mortimer?
Yeah, I think we should speak to security because I've got no idea where we should go here. We could say, well, we're here to speak with Dr. Forbes. We could say we're on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Gaskell as well if we need to. Okay. Head over to the security guard.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
Yes, we are here to speak with Dr. Forbes. We've just come from the Gaskell residence.
And who might you be, sir?
Oh, I'm Dr. Mortimer Davenport.
Right.
D'Angelo Williams, Doctor of Psychology and writer and all that other titles.
Mr. Valance, a couple of visitors. And you see another gentleman in a bowler hat, dressed a bit sort of more formally than the guards at the gate, come hurrying over to you. Mr. Valance, shift foreman.
Oh.
Mr. Gaskill sent you. Is he feeling better?
Slightly better, but
good to hear. Good to hear.
But I don't think it's why I wish to speak to Dr. Forbes, hoping we can find out if Mr. Gaskell had been exposed to something here, because you never know.
Oh, it would be. Mr. Forbes already went through all that. Checked it right after Mr. Gaskell fell ill. Want anything here?
Do you think it was somewhere before he came here then?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, anyway.
Anything.
But he had an appointment, I believe, with Dr. Forbes shortly before.
Give me a fast talk roll here.
Can't I use charm? Because I am...
No, this is fast talking. This is fast talking.
Fast talk would be lying.
This is lying, yes.
I'm not lying.
You don't have an appointment with him?
No, I'm not saying I've got an appointment with him.
You just said you did.
No. I don't have an appointment with him, but I'd like to speak with him.
But yeah, this will be fast talk or persuasion.
Let's see.
Most likely, fast talk will be a lower bar. Persuasion might be higher.
I'm dreadful at both.
Can I help?
You can take the lead on this if you want to try and come up with the story, or you can back him up if you want to give him a bonus die.
Sure.
I've pretty much got a skill in both.
I have 40 in persuade, so give you a try.
I'll help.
I'm aware of the good doctor's work, but I'm worried that his symptoms may at least be in part due to mental stresses. As they say, the mind and body go together, where one is failing, the other is soon to follow. I was hoping that you could speak to me a bit more about, well, the doctor could tell me more about any stresses or any odd behaviors that he may have been at work. So
are you trying to get this man to tell you this, or are you trying to get
no, he is
doctor?
explaining why he wants to speak to the doctor.
Yeah.
Not
Give me a
he's
persuasion roll. Yeah. Right. I'm
trying to
afraid that
sound
Mr.
very
Gaskell doesn't
smart
talk
person.
about that kind of thing with the likes of me.
Wait, do I get the extra dice for?
You got
we-
bonus
Nope,
from
the
Mortimer. Yes, Mortimer's case is backing
Okay,
you
I
up
just
here.
rolled that other one.
All right.
Is a regular success enough, or what I need?
Follow me this way. Yeah, yours was a persuade rather than a attempt to blag your way in. But yeah, he leads you through the gates and up to one of the brick buildings. He knocks on this dark green painted side door. Dr. Forbes, couple of visitors for you. We're talking about Mr. Gaskell. One's a doctor and the other one... Another doctor, I think? Brain doctor. One moment.
Psychology.
Alright, show him in. And the door is opened by this bearded man in essentially like an overall coat. I guess more of a lab coat, really, chucked on over his shirt sleeves. He's got reddish hair, and he's staring at you through like.
Does
What do you want?
Does his description match the person we were told about that had the Scottish gentleman that met with?
I think you got. Did you get a detailed visual
No,
description? You just got it was a Scottish bloke
Scottish.
down the pub.
Yeah,
Right.
Oh,
been
that's
focusing
okay.
on the fact that he's Scottish
know.
for a while. It's really the only
The
thing.
one thing you know about this man.
Oh, that's true.
Come in.
Yes.
Come in.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Dr. Mortimer Davenport.
Alistair Forbes.
Mr. Forbes. Pleasure to meet you. We've just been visiting the Gaskells to see if we can do something to, well...
Come in. He asked you to come into a room. It's essentially, there's a sort of office area at the front, but beyond you can see what appears to be essentially a laboratory. There's wooden benches, there's various glassware, there's things bubbling away ominously, mostly brightly coloured things in glass.
What sort of
Like,
role would I need
roll
to
bottom.
see if this is strange? Anything unusual?
Science.
Oh, unfortunately, I don't have science as a skill.
It's
I don't have science or
It's a-
chemistry.
I believe the base.
it's on the bottom right of the screen. It's in that other skills list. It's a one.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
science
base
is
points
roll
in.
is a 1.
one. Yeah. No, I don't think I'll roll anything like that. Very unlikely I'll succeed in anything like that. Yes, we're looking into how Mr. Gaskell fell ill.
Oh, poor soul. I was there when he started to feel badly.
Do you know what he was doing before he fell ill?
He'd just come back from seeing Smith and Sons over at the coal merchants. Came in, said he had to talk to me, hivering away as usual, and then he said he started to feel a little unwell, and I got him to sit down. Got a glass of water, and he wasn't feeling much better. So I got Mr. Valance, and I helped him to the carriage and took him home.
You don't believe he could have been exposed to something? I'm not sure. I do not understand pharmacy.
If he did, it was out with this factory walls, so...
So you believe he could have been exposed to something at the colliery?
Aye, maybe, aye.
Could I do a psychology roll?
Yeah.
I'm not great at this, but I'll give it a go.
Yeah, you can...
No.
Can I also do a psychology roll?
You might be a bit
Yes, you can. Yeah, try and get a read on him
Very
as
good.
he's talking.
I'm very good at this.
A little bit better.
I could do an extreme success if it would make a difference.
No, you get a hint of nervous uncertainty underlying his words as he's talking.
As he's
You see,
talking,
for a
does
moment,
his eyes?
sort of dark towards the far corner of the room?
He doesn't smell snake-like,
Well, there's
does
just
he?
a side door. You can smell. If you take a sniff,
Chemicals.
what you can smell is chemicals essentially in this room. You can't smell any snake.
I'm sure that you're running a tight ship and all, but I'm more interested to know about the way things interact with the mind. I'm sure
I'm
you,
not that
as
sort.
a fellow academic, I'm sure you understand that the mind and body are completely linked. And has there been any odd behaviors?
I'm not that sort. I'm not that sort of doctor. I'm not a mind doctor. I'm not a body doctor. I'm a chemist. Okay. I don't really know how the human body works, but I know how to make this thing brighter green, and I know how to make that one purer. The medical side of things, I don't do the I make medicine. It's not my job to work out how to treat people with the medicine. I just work out how to make the medicine faster, purer, cleaner.
Is the sort of thing you do here, like develop new medicines, or?
I mostly try and make that which... It's extracting things. So say, are you familiar with aspirin? I don't know if we call it that yet,
yes.
but the idea of you extract salicylic acid from willow bark. So essentially I am working on the better... Essentially, if you could either extract salicylic acid better and faster from willow bark, or replicate the process by which plants themselves manufacture salicylic acid without the need... I'm running away myself. But without the need to harvest vast amounts of willow bark. It will revolutionize the way the world and medicine and... I mean, we've already seen what to do with dyes, like colours that women wear these days that would be unimaginable many decades ago.
You haven't tried doing experiments with like snake venom, have you, by any chance? Doesn't seem to fall into pharmacy at all, but
snake venom? No.
unusual chemicals. I'm thinking it's.
I mean, we had some extracts of some snake venom somewhere in the cupboard, but no one has any actual practical usage for them, really.
True, you don't tend to get many snakes around the city.
No. And until they come up with a snake with like shocking pink venom, the dyes industry is not especially interested in snake venom. No. No.
Are you able to tell us more about the medications you prepared for our good friend?
No, I said I'm not that sort of doctor. I don't do medicine. I don't prepare medicines. I make medicines, but I don't...
You'd be more a scientist.
Yes,
in a way.
I said, doctor of chemistry.
That's where the bit of confusion was. I was under the impression you were also a medical man and pharmacy as well. But
No.
A different specialty at all.
No.
But you believe he fell ill before, at the colliery, before he had...
He just come from the colliery when I was talking to him, yes. He was...
It might be worth myself and Mr. Williams going there to see if he's been exposed. I know coal dust and things like that can be quite harmful.
That's true. Yeah.
Perhaps there's something else there that he was exposed to which was harmful to him.
Yeah, I've seen
Could have
people
breathed
come
it
down
in.
awfully badly from coal dust.
True. There are a few chemicals that can do that sort of thing to someone, so... But, I'm just trying to think. There had been a separate incident we'd encountered with some bottles from this factory, I believe. Do you manufacture bottles here for other companies or just...
We've got a small glassworks down the end. We make the vials and the bottles. It was turned out to be better to make your own than importing. The breakages were getting annoying.
It's probably cheaper as well.
Oh, well, I'm not an accountant. I wouldn't know about that side of things.
I'm just trying to get to the bottom of how Mr. Gaskell fell ill and come up with a solution.
Oh, I wish the best for him. He's the best boss I've ever had. That's for sure. That's for sure.
But you're fairly
But
certain he
Dan-
was ill before he got here, or...
Yes, definitely yes.
D'Angelo's going to look at the room that the guy had nervously looked at before. Does he do anything?
So you can see there's a room with this various sort of a couple of benches of chemicals. There's things sort of, bubbling away. And beyond that, you can see at the far end there's a fairly nondescript brown painted door in the corner.
Does he react when D'Angelo looks over in that direction?
It doesn't seem to notice you looking that way now.
Well, has anyone else been behaving strangely? Perhaps under odd behaviors? Any other people falling ill?
Oh, we get the usual cases of accidents and incidents. Best speak to Mr. Balance. He's the foreman about that sort of thing. We try and tell people, the safety. Well, it's not really my job. I'm here. This is my little patch. Research and development. I don't really go into the big building, the big factory. But
Do you not have anyone else who works here in research and development with you?
Oh, I've got an assistant. Yes, it's his day off today.
Oh.
Sick grandmother.
It happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, but what was I saying? Yeah, we always get several people who, stick their hands where they shouldn't stick their hands, lean over the vats for too long, fall in the vats in a few unfortunate incidents. But
well, thank you for your time. I don't think we've managed... I'd hoped Mr. Gaskell had perhaps been inspecting something before he fell ill, and that may have been...
No, that was Tuesday. He always does his inspections on Monday.
So, yeah. But I believe he had a meeting with yourself anyhow, the same day he fell ill, actually.
Yes, as I said, he fell ill on the Tuesday. I said he came in for a meeting, wasn't feeling well. Me and Mr. Balance got him in a carriage back home.
Well, I think that's all we can find out here at the moment. Thank you for your time, anyhow.
Well, I best be back to work.
Yes.
I'm
We
moving
might
around
pop
all
back
day.
again after we've been to the colliery. We may have some answers, but who knows?
Hopefully the gents at the gate will know to let you in, right? Well, you're best.
Yep. Take
Off
care.
you go.
Yeah.
So ushers you back out the door.
Mr. Williams, did you find anything unusual about that?
He seemed very nervous about us paying more attention to that side room. Actually, once we first arrived, he couldn't help but defer his gaze over there, but I don't see how we could get inside without causing some sort of distraction.
No, but we could check with, I believe, Mr. Balance, the foreman, to make sure the story adds up. We'll probably head towards them as we're heading out anyway. We're not going to loiter too much. Try to get the foreman's attention if we see him around.
Oh, yep. Sorry, I've got to get his voice different from the other guy.
These places.
I will
tend
say
to be
the
a bit-
other guy had a faint Scottish accent that I cannot do.
Oh, it's okay.
Try as I might.
Yeah. Well, we're just going to be making our way out now. We may end up returning again. I just needed to check something. Mr. Gaskell, we were told he fell ill when he was visiting Dr. Forbes, but Dr. Forbes was under the impression he fell ill before he met him.
He did look a bit peaky that morning. I saw him on his way in to go see Dr. Forbes, but yeah, I got a shout from Forbes saying that Mr. Gaskell had taken poorly and we have to see he got home.
Has there been anyone else with any weird symptoms or behaviors? Especially after being exposed to any fumes from chemicals and such?
We used to get a few workers out sick for various reasons, you know, inhaled too much, you know, burnt the skin off on something. Some spillages, droppages, that sort of thing, but
yeah, accidents.
Luckily, there's always plenty more workers where they came from.
Had Mr. Gaskell been with Dr. Forbes long before he fell ill, or was it?
No,
he arrived.
Just gone in.
So it was quite immediate.
Can't have been more than 10 minutes or so.
Strange, but anyway, this place is like a labyrinth.
Yeah, let me show you out to the gate. Make sure you don't get lost wandering around. You'll end up in the glassworks or wandering around the chemical storage, and that is not where you want to be.
Where's the chemical storage? Is that the
that's that one down, just separated from the others in case, you know,
explosions or problems.
Exactly. Yeah, some of the stuff can go up with quite a bang. So we the whole place going up with a bang.
He has an assistant as well who's off today.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Weird bloke. Don't see much of him.
Oh. I was also wondering.
Can't remember his name. What's his name? Stobbswell. That's his name. Don't know his first name. Doesn't talk much.
Is Dr. Forbes always nervous? He just seemed rather nervous with our visit.
No. I mean, it's definitely, you know, I mean, smart guy. Does whatever he's doing over there.
Yeah.
Talks 19 to the dozen about things I don't understand.
Fair enough. Scientists are strange people all the same.
Yeah, I went down to his favourite pub with him a couple of times, but I get a couple of beers in him and always talking because it might as well not be English.
What was his pub? Not the Queen's Head or something like that, was it?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, you know it.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Well, you should go. I'm sure you two doctors could natter on about, you know, Aussie, Hoxie, health, or whatever it is all night.
Mr. Williams, do you think we should have a quick word with Dr. Forbes before we leave? In relation to Queen's Head, perhaps?
Yes, at a minimum, we may be able to invite him out for a drink, or he will be a bit more.
That's a very good point. Sorry, we'll just have to have a quick word again with Dr. Forbes. We had
back and forth.
I've not realised that was one of his favourite pubs. I've popped in there now and again.
Well, off you go. You know where to find him.
That's true. We'll better head that way.
Okay, so you poodle back across the yard to the door to Dr. Forbes' laboratory.
Yep. I'm assuming the door's locked and all.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom. You knock on the door. There is no answer.
I'll just see if it opens.
It is locked.
Can we hear anything from there?
You can give me a listen check.
Oh.
Yeah, I got it.
Neither of you can hear any movement on the other side of the door.
I don't assume you have a method to open a locked door.
Do you know how to pick
Unfortunately
locks?
Fortunately,
Or shoulder
not-
barge a door open.
does there seem to be another way in? Another
There-
door or another entrance? Or...
You can do a loop around the building. It only appears to have one door. It's got smallish windows set high in the wall.
Probably good.
Would I be able to use my sword to either to open the door, either the crowbar or in the
You
lock?
can give me a
either
strength roll
or.
to try and
I'll
Where the hell
try.
break open the door.
I'll stand in the way. I'll assist, but I'm more assisting to make sure no one sees.
So, by assisting, so you're not helping him break open the door. You're just watching.
I'm just standing in the way so
Yeah,
no one can see.
It's not the most solid, but it's just a bolt on the inside of the door and a firm strike from the pommel of the sword. You feel this little tingle run up your arms. The sword is apparently doors are its special expertise. As the lock gives way beneath the strike from the magic sword or magic lock.
Should be quick. Should be quick.
Yes, let's be quick. We'll push the door closed behind us. And
Okay, you step in. You see the laboratory is
as it was,
empty. The flames have been turned off. Things have stopped bubbling.
Side door.
But there's no sign of Dr. Forbes within.
yep, head towards that side door and see.
You head towards this brown door. This one is not locked. As you open it up,
Oh, can I listen
Yeah.
at this door before we go through?
yes, you can give me a listen roll. So lean closer to the wood and try and listen in.
Just listen at the door.
You can hear voices below. You can't hear what they're saying. But you can hear
Voices below?
two voices, essentially like they're echoing up from below. You can't quite hear what they're saying, but one of them, it does sound to be Forbes. You can recognise the tone of his voice. The other voice sounds male from what you can tell, but you really can't make out what they're saying.
Would an extreme success enable me to?
You're not close enough to hear what they're saying.
Okay.
But you can make out with their voice two
We can hear
people down there.
two people talking. Okay, so open the door and quietly just wander in.
Okay. Are you both heading down there?
Staying low, trying to be out of
Okay.
sight.
I'll ask you both for a stealth roll, please.
Not exactly our best of skills, but
Okay. As you start to make your way down, you open this door on the other side. Essentially, there's a steep staircase down. Essentially, this is like the top of like a stair to a basement level. And as you begin to make your way down, we're going to go over to Amos at the coal merchants. So, a short distance away, in fact, only a couple of warehouses away along the south bank of the Thames. Amos, you arrive at Smith and Sons Coal Merchants. It's a coal yard. There's heaps of coal everywhere. There are people shoveling coal out of boats and into piles of coal, and out of piles of coal and into carts.
Oh, very good, very good. Well, let's be
You
on
see
with
a
it.
portly gentleman sort of hurries over. Morning, sir. Oh, mind where you're going. Can I help you?
Yes, I'm looking for a Bob Smith.
That'll be me. That'll be me. Bob
Oh.
Smith Senior.
Oh, it's good to meet you, Mr. Bob Smith. I am here on account of Mr. Glassgill. I am his accountant.
Oh, was there some problem with the latest invoice?
Yes. I am.
Oh, no. Sorry to hear that. I sent
That's
over
not
the
why
usual
I'm
amount,
really-
and I billed the usual amount.
No, it's not on your end. It's. Is there a place we could speak?
Yes, come through to my office. This way, yeah.
Thank you.
Ah.
Thank you.
This way.
Very good. Can I do a spot hidden
Bob,
check on him?
you take care of the yard.
How many Bobs
That's my
are
son.
there?
Bob,
Ah,
Junior.
all the name that.
My father was Robert, but my mother thought that was too long.
Brevity is a form of godliness, is what they say. No one actually says that. Just kidding. Anyway, how old does he look? Bob Senior? About my age, mid 40s.
Yeah, probably. He's probably older. He's probably in his 50s.
50s, okay. He said, Bob, I'm gonna level with you. This is gonna be a strange reason as to why I'm here, but as you probably heard, Mr. Glassgill is quite ill.
Oh, I did hear it come down with something. Yes.
Well, it's quite a pardon the pun, but a grave affliction. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes. And as his accountant, a lot of you know how you're a businessman, money trickles into a lot of things, right? And so around the time that he got ill, he had come recently from this area to another place, and then he started getting progressively worse. And so part of my job as an accountant is to make sure that the accounts are done properly, and an account isn't done properly and I'm not accusing you of anything, I'm just here to tie loose ends, to say that I looked at things or whatever.
Right.
Things
What's
are
your
all
actual question?
Can I do a psychology roll to see if he's
yes.
nervous
Yeah,
or if
give
he's
me a-
just mad because I'm long-winded? That's what I'm guessing.
Give me a psychology roll, please. It's hard to tell
failed.
if he's trying to hide something or he's just an impatient man by nature. He likes to keep things.
Very good. I'm just curious if there's been any irregularities or anything with any accounts, any raw materials, any things like that, any type of business transactions that you've done with Mr. Glasgow and his corporation.
No, not at all. As I said, we sell him coal. He pays us for the coal. Regularities? I mean, not really. Last time I saw him was just his standard. He likes to call in on all his suppliers, just on a regular basis. It was our standard meeting. He seemed a bit rushed, a bit distracted, but he had no concerns about the coal.
What was he? So you just went over like the accounts and the paperwork?
Yeah, just.
He
likes to give a little inspection of the yard as well, just make sure all his suppliers are giving him their quality goods.
Very good. I would like. Could I see the paperwork that you showed him that day? Just take a moment.
Yes. He brings out some papers.
Very good. Could I inspect it?
Yes. They look completely fine.
Okay, very good. Okay. Could you give me the tour that he took?
Fine. Yeah. Look. Yeah. All right. He takes you around. Here's the coal. Here's our best coal. The coal we sell you, like the foaming coal.
Looks quite coaly. Yes.
The weights all match up with what we're sending you. Over there is our poor quality coal. We don't send that to you.
Very good. Can I look at the coal? Can I spot? Because Amos doesn't really know what he's doing. He just left because things got weird.
Give me a spot hidden to inspect the coal.
He's just doing his best. He doesn't know that he's an investigator yet, you know?
To be fair, he didn't give me a full inspection. He seemed in awfully sort of hurry to get off the day last time I saw him. I'm not surprised he fell ill. He looked a bit peaky when I saw him.
What was he acting like, and how did he look? What was he talking about?
He asked me the usual stuff. Asked me how Bob and Bob's kids were. Little Bob.
Yes.
And then he said he had another meeting he needed to get to after lunch. But yeah, looked a bit green around the gills, but I just assumed, coming down with a cold or up to the night before.
riveting stuff. I'm gonna try, if allowed, to do one more psychology check to see if he's being forthright with me.
Okay, I'm gonna say your previous psychology check holds rather than because you don't know that you failed.
Very good,
As
very
far as
good.
you tell, it's hard to get a read on this man.
Okay.
Either he's impatient or secretive.
Okay.
And his coal appears to be coal as far as you can tell.
Yes. How often did he visit you?
Once every 2 months.
Quite regularly, of course.
There's a man of routine. Is a man of
Yes.
routine. I assume he's still alive.
Were you close with him?
Not really. I saw him once every 2 months for the last 6 years.
Well, I will say this. In the likely event of the man's passing, we will not be seeking to. We won't be seeking to find a new supplier because you've shown some tolerance towards inspections, some transparency, things of that nature, and the way you acted today speaks very well of your business, Mr. Smith.
Right, well, is that everything?
Keeper, could I make an intelligence check to see if there's anything that I should be asking? Because like Amos is.
I mean, yes, yeah, I guess.
Because I don't want to like metagame, and because again, Amos does not know that he's an investigator.
You can give me an intelligence check, idea.
Hard.
I mean, you get the feeling that perhaps this coal merchant is not particularly connected to what's going on.
Very good. Okay, well, I appreciate you. Can I have your business card?
Yep, Smith and Sons coal merchants.
Smith and Sons Coal. Very good, very good. Also, if you have a granddaughter, the name Bobette, quite lovely. Bye. And I just leave.
As you are leaving the yards, where's your plan? Where do you intend to go next?
I would probably just kind of head over to where I think any of the closest compatriots would be.
So you knew that Mortimer and D'Angelo were going over to...
I knew we were splitting, and I knew that they were going to go see different people, yeah.
Yeah, so the Gaskill factory is the nearest of the destinations to where you are. Because
I'm
the other
gonna
two
go
are north of the river in Whitechapel.
Yep, I'm going to go do that, and I have my hand on my pistol.
Okay, as you're doing that...
Yes.
Are you walking there, or are you taking the cab?
If it's within walking distance, I would just walk it.
It was within walking distance.
I'll just walk it.
Okay. Would you give me a spot hidden, please, as you make the walk from the coal yards to the factory?
Hard. Yeah, hard success.
As you're making your way, you catch a glimpse of something down one of the alleyways that you pass between the factories. You're getting close to the outer wall of the Gaskill factory, where you see two figures walking down an alleyway. One of them is a man in factory worker's clothes. He seems to be sort of walking almost in a daze down this alleyway. And and he's following after the figure of a young, well, looks female as far as you can tell. You're looking at her from behind, but it's almost for a moment you see this sort of blonde hair, a woman in a green dress with blonde hair, and it takes you back for just a moment, for an instant. You thought you saw Meredith Bell, Theodosia Halburn. And then she turns back to look at the man and you realise, no, it's not her. It's just a woman who looks a lot like her. Very much like her.
Meredith? You who?
The woman turns. Excuse me, sir? She places her hand on the other man's shoulder and says, wait there. And she walks towards you.
Could I hear what she said to the? Did she say wait there?
Wait there.
Wait there. Okay.
Sir?
Can I, as she's walking towards me, can I get a better look at him and her? Do I have enough time?
So he's still down the alley.
Okay.
So you can see, is wearing workman's clothes, seems possibly drunk. And she, as she's walking towards you, you see, she looks to be about the same age as Meredith and has very similar hair and features, but it's not her. This is a different woman. Just one who could be, I guess, almost similar enough to be a sister. Definitely a strong resemblance between the two. She walks towards you. Sir?
Are you Meredith Bell by any chance?
Yes? What do you want with me?
I suspect my name. It doesn't matter what my name is. I met a young lady who looks just like you at a hotel a couple days ago, maybe 2 days ago, and she was calling herself Meredith Bell. I mistook you for her. Do you have a sister? What is your name? I'm Amos Thompson. Pleasure to meet you. And I go to hand her my business card. Just being.
She reaches out, take it. They call me Bella.
Bella. Well. Are you from?
You have a lot of questions.
I do have a lot of questions, and I feel quite rude as you. This
It's
is
fine.
quite.
It's fine.
I feel quite
She
perturbed.
looks, she looks sort of left and right down the street.
Is that your friend?
Yes. Yeah.
Does he work at the factory?
Yes. He's drunk a little too much.
It happens to the
They
best
might
of
have
us.
some answers for me, but not out here. Follow me.
Can I do a psychology check on the
Yes,
the
yes, you
strange
can.
lady saying "follow me"? Oh God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Big money. Oh Jesus.
Take what you will from her. Take what you will from her attitude.
I'm going to follow her. This is a new character incoming, folks. We'll be on character 4 quite soon.
Follow
Yeah.
me.
Sorry for the new update on the B-roll. I will follow you. Yes, this is completely
Yes.
fine.
The other man, as you get close to him, you see, he kind of staring into space. And she says, "Come, follow me."
Where are we going? But I will
This
follow
way,
you, of
This
course.
way. She leads you down the alley. Starts walking down the alley between. You see, on one side there's a high brick factory wall. On the other side there's the wall of one of the warehouses nearby. And
Does he look drunk by any chance? Does he actually look like he's drunk,
He
like she
looks
said?
dazed.
What was he drinking?
Gin, local distilled. It occasionally sends men blind.
He's blind?
No, he's not. I said it occasionally sends men blind.
You could. Where are you taking me?
This
I
way,
know
down
you said
here. You see
this
there's a
way
set of
down
steps.
here is not the most specific of answers, but
You see
yes,
there's a
please.
set of steps down to a door that seems to be tucked into the bottom, almost of the factory wall.
Well, maybe I will be seeing my old wife sooner than I thought. Oh, Lord. Proceed.
Quiet. No need to make such noise.
I'm not that loud. There's no
Okay.
one here. Can't we
Reaches
just
a-
speak here?
No, in. She opens the door. In here. Go on.
No, you first.
Go in. And I need you to make me a wisdom roll, please. The power. That's the word I'm after. Wrong
This
game.
is geriatric abuse.
Make me a power roll, please. You feel something take hold of you.
Bah!
You feel the world seems to fade away, like become clouded around you. It's almost like you're looking
Clouded.
out your eyes through a long distance. Your tongue moving slow and not to your command. Your feet are moving. They're following her down these steps, stepping through into the room below. You're moving almost as though sleepwalking. You can still see what's going on around you, but you cannot control the movement of your own limbs as you follow the blonde woman down the steps and into the dark doorway below. And we'll get back to Amos in just a moment.
Bye, y'all.
So, Elsie, was it your intention essentially to get some sleep, get some rest?
I think, yes, a little bit of rest. I don't know if I want to leave the building, considering how closely our lives are now tied. In that case, I am going to send a message to, I guess, Mr. Greaves, because I know that where he went, he's likely to come back sooner. And so that they can come and be clued in on what I just did.
Yeah, so John and Max, after leaving Whitechapel, where is it your plan to go next? Would you be going back to the Gaskill residence, back to the society, or seeking to join it with some of the others south of the river?
Which would be the closest?
The probably about equal distances, because geographically the Gaskill factory is closest, but it's across the river, so you'd have to get a boat or go up to a river crossing. A bridge, that's the word.
What do you think, Max? Should we go back by the society?
Yeah, I think so. We could discuss with maybe the others, or maybe with James, how we burn something without anything escaping to the surroundings.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if we don't want the stuff to end up in the sewers, we shouldn't probably want it in the smoke either.
I mean, we don't really want to bury it in the backyard either.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go back to the society. We should probably discuss.
Okay, so you're heading back to the society. Elsie, where did you send your note to try and get in touch with them?
Whitechapel.
Excellent.
To the
I mean, by the time
doctors,
the note
lady.
gets there, they've probably left Whitechapel, unfortunately. So,
Yes.
it's just messengers chasing themselves round and round the city of London.
And I don't think they told the doctors where they went.
No, they did not.
No.
Nobody knows where anyone else is. This is perfect.
Wonderful. I shall also send another note, just in case, or if that messenger comes back to me saying they're not there, I'll send it to James, to have him tell whomever happens to come to the house
Yes. So eventually,
that I have taken extremely ill.
Yes. Sometime later, after Maximilian and John, you arrive back at the society. Nobody else is there. Time passes, and eventually a note, well, apart from the servants, and a note arrives to say that Elsie is at the Gaskill residence and has taken ill.
Well, I guess we go to the Gaskill residence and quickly.
Yes. So you race across London to the Gaskill residence. Luckily, that's fairly near to where you are. In this continued game of, oh god, splitting the party before the existence of instant communication. This week on the London Esoteric Society attempts to find out where the London Esoteric Society is. And
We
this is
are our
with-
own greatest mystery. That's fantastic.
And this is with the telephone. spare a thought for, I don't know, the London Esoteric Society of like 17 something. Well, I read him a letter. We can expect a reply within the month. Anyway, as you convene once more at the Gaskill residence, Elsie has been sort of propped up on the settee in one of the downstairs rooms, provided with blankets, hot chocolate,
Probably broth.
probably some broth, a strong glass of brandy. You know, all these good medical treatments. But she's actually, as you arrive, being looked over by Dr. Watkins, who looks really quite concerned. Oh dear. And you felt well this morning, Miss Smith.
Yes, Doctor.
Oh dear. Right. Well, gentlemen, may I request you stay outside?
Sure.
Miss, I will be back in a moment. Okay. Gentlemen, is the young lady a friend of yours?
Are you asking us?
He looks between John Maximilian and John, who just arrived here.
Oh, the Miss Smith? Yeah, yes.
Yes. Look. Do either of you feel any symptoms? Do you feel any symptoms of fever? Do you feel unwell at all?
No, not at the moment.
Oh dear. We have been working under the assumption that whatever had afflicted poor Mr. Gaskill was not contagious, as no one in the house had fallen ill. But it seems that Miss Smith has fallen foul of the same malady. This is deeply concerning indeed.
What's happened to her?
She's well enough so far, but the symptoms are very much the early symptoms that Mr. Gaskill suffered from. I fear she has come down with the same illness.
We need to go in and see her.
Can I see them through the? Is there a door?
You can see them. Essentially, they're talking at the door,
and I can hear them.
Yes,
I can hear them.
Yes. You may, but I caution you. We do not know. I mean, it cannot be that contagious. No one else here appears to have fallen ill, but I must caution you.
Well, we would be feeling it at this point if we were going to feel something. So I'm not going to be worried about it. Let us go in to see our niece.
In you go.
Right, Elsie. You look a little off. What's up? What's wrong?
It worked, but we have to be quick.
And I will infer from that what she means.
Right.
Did Max come into the room too?
Yeah, Max, are you still in the hall or are you in the room?
No, I followed with him.
He seemed better when I was ushered out of the room. This should buy us enough time. But I will say, it seems our lives are tied together now. And if one passes, likely the other.
It's a bit of urgency.
So you double or nothing, basically. That was the gamble.
Mm-hmm. I would suggest finding Dr. Davenport and Mr. Williams and letting them know, and trying to get Mrs. Delaney
the trip down to see
here
her
quickly.
Was not entirely fruitful. she really couldn't give us anything, and she declined, not forcefully, but declined to leave her clinic because they seemed to be swamped with a lot of people too, and she made the, saving one versus many was not really in her interest.
I've bought time. I'm not terrible right now, and he is better. We will be able to wait, but I don't know how long. Kiefer, do I know how long? Or does it feel like I know how long?
You do not know how long.
Well, Max and I do have to go back there later tonight to collect a package to take back to the house.
Well,
but in the meantime, did Dr. Davenport and D'Angelo?
they haven't returned.
They went. Am I right? Did they go over to the factory?
Mm-hmm. That's what they said before they left.
Okay. I don't know if they'd been in contact since. Well, Max, you feel like going out to check out the factory?
Factory? Sure. Why not? That might be a way to get where the equipment is there to get rid of the package.
Good point. Yeah. All right. Well, let's head out. Elsie, I hope or do you expect to feel better or worse at this point? Is there anything we can do?
Not that I know of. I will not be taking any medications, though.
Yeah, no need to bother your body more than it already is.
Okay, so who's going over to the factory?
I will. Are you going to? Yeah. So both of us.
But Elsie is not. Okay. So, some indeterminate amount of time earlier at the factory, Mortimer and John were trying to sneak down a staircase.
It was?
It's D'Angelo. It's D'Angelo and Mortimer.
Look!
We can
There's so many of you!
This
We
is
can all
why
pretend we
shouldn't
didn't hear
split the
that.
I
party.
can't count to 6.
We can all pretend like you said the right thing in the
Yes,
first place.
yes.
Okay. We know I noticed. We did notice.
D'Angelo and Mortimer were trying to sneak down a staircase. And, okay, as you edge down the staircase, sort of a steep staircase that goes down and then sort of curves at a right angle with a little landing. So you can't see down into the room below from the top of the staircase. But as you begin to make your way, Mortimer, you'd gone first down here with D'Angelo a little behind. Here, you get closer down towards the bottom. Mortimer, you turn, as you peer around the corner, you can see the room that you're entering down into seems to be some form of storage room. There are shelves on the walls and various dark painted cabinets. At the far side of the room is another door leading who knows where. There are 2 figures in this room. Only a smallish sort of room, probably about 10 feet by 15 feet. Not a huge room. There are 2 people standing in this room. One of them is Dr. Forbes. He is talking quite animatedly to the second figure, who you do not recognize and is not a human person. The second person you see is about the height of a human person, with almost roughly the proportions of a human person. but in place of soft human skin, you see scales. No hair, just a scale back of their head. They haven't got a nose, just a flat face with slits in it. And you have come across snake people before, but it has not left a particularly good mark in you. So I do need a sanity roll from you. The loss will not be great if you fail, but I do need a sanity roll from you still. Okay, you've seen these before. It's snake people. Finally, your paranoia is paying off. This time it really is snake people.
I thought Dr. Forbes might have been a snake person, but I was wrong. But there is a snake person here.
But yes, you see, D'Angelo, how close behind Mortimer are you?
Probably 5 feet or less. I wouldn't want to be like directly behind him,
Okay,
but
so
yeah, I'm not far.
there's a snatch of a moment before D'Angelo comes around the corner. You hear Forbes saying, "Look, I don't know who they are. They were asking a lot of questions, but I think they went away. I sent them away. We don't need to worry. You don't need to do anything. Anyone asking questions is a threat. Find out who they are, and they will be disposed of. Look, I know their names. I don't know who they are, but D'Angelo, you come around the corner, you see the serpentine person. I need a sanity roll from you two here.
I made one a second ago. I can do it again if you want.
No.
You know, you want? I'll take the reroll.
No, that one's fine. That one's fine. I don't have a problem with that one. Please roll me. Remind me again what the rolls. Has D'Angelo seen a snake person in person before?
I don't think so. He's seen big snakes before, but I don't know about snake people.
He's seen fish people, but not snake people.
Yeah, fish people. Yes, yeah.
Those are completely different kettles of snakes.
They're all half human things, so I feel like you've seen one, you've seen them all, really.
Roll me 1d6, please.
3.
So please deduct 3 points from your sanity. You let out a little involuntary, like, and both Forbes and the snake person turn as one to look at the two of you, sort of peering around the staircase, seeing them.
Oh, well, this is kind of what I expected.
Who are you?
Oh, I've already introduced myself to Dr. Forbes here. I hadn't expected to find a worshipper of Yig here, but surprise all the same. Now, time's very short and I am rushed. I believe Mr. Gaskill is quite ill. He may have been given something experimental. And also, I forgot to mention Dr. Forbes, Queen's Head.
What about it? The bomb?
I recognised you from somewhere.
Stop talking. Talk too much.
But something Jeffrey's passed away.
I need you to make me a power roll, please, Mortimer.
Fair enough. Hard
You
success.
feel something pushing at your mind. You feel as if they essentially tried for a moment but failed to, like, force you to shut up.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's happened to me before, so
Yes.
can you stop trying to do that? I'm familiar with some
Forbes.
of your...
What? They are a threat. You see Forbes reach into his pocket shaky hand.
Has it got a
I
gun or something?
He's pulling out a gun.
Oh, I'll stop
I-
sword cane.
Okay,
I would
I
like to
think this is going to
cast-
proceed in dexterity order. I think this has officially, as they say, kicked off.
Yes.
Is that what they say?
So both of you
1898.
two are on dexterity 50.
Yes.
Right. Let me just check if either Forbes or his companion go faster than you. And hey, unfortunately
All
for
get
you,
along,
they
please?
do. They both have a brief moment to try and do something before you can get a shot off. And the Serpent Man essentially. So, Mortimer, were you going for your gun, as did you say, or your sword cane?
I don't think sword cane. Well,
Okay.
it's just a walking stick, so it would have
As
been
you
a hand.
raise your walking stick, sort of things get attention. The Serpent Man he reaches out to just grab at you by the neck. It's going to be a fighting brawl on their behalf with essentially a maneuver. You can either try and fight back against this or dodge.
Let's see. I'll try and dodge. If I dodge, do I get to roll a fighting attack,
Dodge.
or do I lose
Dodge
my?
would be rolling dodge.
No, I mean, I'd still get my turn to do an action. I wouldn't lose that.
When it comes around to your turn, yeah. It's
Okay,
only if you're essentially to dive for cover from a gun that
fair enough. I'll try and
you lose
dodge.
your turn.
Hard success on a dodge.
And okay, you dodge out the way, he snatches forward to try and grab you by the throat, essentially, but you dodge out the way. Forbes raises the gun and takes a very shaky shot towards you. You can either try and dive for cover. You are still at the front, so he's going to go for you. You are the one doing most of the talking. You can either try and dive for cover or hope he misses.
Would that be another dodge then, or?
That would be a dodge and a forfeit of your turn, essentially, if you're trying to dive back behind the staircase, you can dive flat for cover.
To be fair, I don't think he's going to be a good shot.
Your choice. Do you want to dive for cover or hope he misses?
I'll probably dodge. I'm not taking the risk.
Okay, give me a dodge roll.
Hard success
You
again.
dive for cover. His bullet goes wide, hits off the wall. The gunshot is quite loud in this confined space. D'Angelo and/or Mortimer. Well, no, Mortimer, you've forfeited your turn. D'Angelo, what would you like to do?
The snake person is closer to me.
Yes.
You know, I haven't done this in a long time, so I'm going to try to cast Rapid Green Decay on the snake person.
Okay. Yes.
And I do have a hand on the sword, so I'll use the magic points from the sword.
Yes, indeed. You can use your magic soul storing device.
Nothing to be concerned about.
I love this. D'Angelo's like, oh, magic's terrible. Oh, we shouldn't be doing magic.
No one listens. No one listens to me when I say don't do it.
Ignatius is gonna fucking haunt you, D'Angelo. That's all I'm saying.
What?
Okay,
What
this is
ignore?
15 magic points from the sword. Give me a sanity roll, please. And this will be a contested power roll. This is the...
First, oh, well.
No, it as in the sanity is, I believe, for
Oh,
this one. Yeah,
the
it's 1d8. This is a
okay.
straightforward just loss. 3 points of sanity gone. And give me a power roll, please. Against power.
Can I spend luck on this roll?
You will
or-
have to make this an extreme success to win.
I can make it hard success, but I can't. Yeah, I can't. I don't have enough for.
Yes, unfortunately, they They have rolled.
Can I spend more
Very
magic
low.
or health points
Pardon?
to get a? Can I spend more magic points to
No,
lower
no.
them?
This is essentially your attempt to overpower their mind, to just turn them to mulch by just overpowering all the defenses and
anything.
deleting them from the universe. Unfortunately, for you, the serpent person resists this. Push back against it.
Can I move back?
Yes, yes, you can. You can run to the top of the stairs if you want to get out of here.
I'm not leaving, but to make it hard to attack both of us at the same time. So
Yeah.
he's moving that far away, not leaving the encounter.
Okay. The serpent person reaches into their own pocket and pulls out a small glass vial. They are going to throw this in the direction at the foot of the stairs. There's a breaking glass and a vapor, and a constitution roll from both Mortimer and D'Angelo.
For my face, I'm going to die.
Wouldn't
I'm going to die.
Forbes also need to do that?
Yes, Forbes would.
I'm going to die.
So,
Well,
D'Angelo.
My luck anyway.
Okay, Mortimer, you are holding on to consciousness. D'Angelo is out like a light. In fact, there's a boom, 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 as he tumbles down the bit of the stairs that he climbed up, completely unconscious. Forbes also slumped down, coughing and spluttering as the air is filled with this fine vapor. But Mortimer, you are holding on to consciousness for the time being. What do you want to do?
I've already been shot at. Forbes is
Forbes
unconscious.
is falling unconscious. D'Angelo is out cold.
So it's just me and the snake person.
Yes.
Whatever
you do, you don't have long to think about it. The snake person is going to go for you again.
I'll shoot him if he's there, rather than stab him.
Okay, pull out your gun.
Is this close range?
Yes, this would count as close range. You do have a bonus die.
I shall use the gun that Morgan McCrashley had given me. Let me check. I pick which
Okay.
one it was. It was the Colt. Let's see. I just. So
Okay, that is a success. Okay, the gun goes up, strikes. The seven man staggers back for a moment as the gunshot strikes him, but it's not enough to bring him down, and he sort of lunges forwards towards you and is going to essentially try and bite you. Try and sink his serpentine fangs into you. Do you want to try and fight back or dodge?
Probably dodge.
Okay, give me a dodge roll, please. You managed to dodge out the way. Over to you.
Oh,
Now
me
right
again?
up in his face. Yeah, there's only the two of you now. He's right up in your face trying to bite at you. You're there.
I'll shoot him
Struggling.
again.
Okay, you're now in...
I'll try
Essentially,
to
this is a
move.
straight roll, essentially, because you're trying to do this while it's, like, right up there in
I'll be trying
melee.
to back away, but I'll
In,
take it.
right up there in melee, so it's a straight roll.
See.
He's trying to grab you, or you're trying to avoid like...
That is a fail, but I shall see how much luck I
That would
need.
be 19 luck if you want to make a success, yes or no?
Yes, I'll do the 19 luck, and that's
Okay,
7
another
damage.
gunshot staggers him backwards. Let's see if the person is still conscious. He's sort of starting to slow down. I need you to make me another constitution roll. Like, the vapor is still in this room. Like,
Hard success.
yeah, you're still... The serpent person staggers backwards and stumbles, this Icarus dark blood spilling across the ground. He staggers backwards and then starts to slump down. You seem to have won, but this room is still thick and heady with this vapor. You can feel, even though you're holding on to consciousness for the time being, like.
Well, what I'll try and do is drag D'Angelo and Dr. Forbes up the stairs.
Okay. Well, okay, that's going to be 2 trips essentially.
2 trips. I'll basically take D'Angelo up first because he'll be the closest anyway.
Okay, I want you to give me
I know him.
A con roll. So one for one trip and one for the other trip. Let's see if you can remain conscious long enough to do this.
I failed on the...
You start to drag D'Angelo up the stairs.
I'll spend... That
would be 21 points of luck.
I'll spend it. That's my luck gone.
Okay, you get D'Angelo to the top of the staircase. Are you going back for Forbes?
I'll try to bring him around, actually, to consciousness first.
Okay.
First aid?
Yeah, give me a first aid roll.
Try and bring him around because I'm not doing that well.
He does not come around. He is out completely cold. That was a fumble on his behalf earlier. He is off in the dreamlands.
Okay.
Can I use screaming to wake up?
Well, I'm not going to leave him here as such. Well, actually...
It's your choice. Do you want to go down to try and fetch Forbes back up, risking the vapours of whatever it was that was released down there, or not?
That's a very good point. What the hell? Why not?
Okay, one last con roll. Can you do it? Can you power through enough?
Nope.
No. You go back down. Second time. First, you go back down to try and grab Forbes. You start drag him up, but whatever this stuff is, continued exposure to it has taken its toll.
I don't think I can push the con roll, can I?
No.
No.
And slowly, the world fades away. And that, I'm afraid, is where we are going to have to leave things for today. Because we are out.